Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite_UK, a place where we share deep insights about sports, teamwork, and life lessons drawn from stories about rugby, the Six Nations, and elite athletes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
In the world of elite sports, nothing is guaranteed forever. Even players once considered icons or heroes of a national team can face difficult periods, where declining form, injuries, or a coach's tactics force them temporarily out of the starting lineup. When I followed the news that Duhan van der Merwe had been left out of Scotland's squad ahead of the important match against the France national rugby union team in the Six Nations Championship, I found myself thinking deeply about it. This was not simply a technical decision. It also reflects the harsh reality of elite sport. Every position must be earned through current performance, not past reputation. Personally, I look at this story not with judgment or criticism, but with a broader perspective, one that is both sporting and human. The harsh reality of elite sport. In professional sports, especially in major tournaments like the Six Nations, every match feels like a demanding test. Scotland's head coach, Gregor Townsend, clearly made tactical decisions to counter the strength of the French team. France has long been considered one of the strongest rugby teams in Europe, known for their powerful and fast style of play. Therefore, as Scotland prepared for the match at Murrayfield Stadium, the coaching staff certainly had to carefully consider every position. Van der Merwe's omission from the 23-man squad not only reflects his recent form but also suggests that the team's tactical approach may be evolving. In modern rugby, speed, defensive ability, and tactical discipline are increasingly important. No matter how talented a player is, he must still fit into the team's tactical system. This makes me reflect on a simple truth we sometimes forget. Sport is not just about individuals, it is about the collective.
When form is no longer the same, in previous seasons, Duhan van der Merwe was one of Scotland's most dangerous wingers. His power, acceleration, and aggressive playing style helped Scotland score many crucial points. But this season, things seem not to have gone smoothly for him. Injuries, inconsistency in form, and pressure from other players competing for places have made his position less secure than before. In professional sports, even a short dip in performance can cost you your place in the lineup. I believe this is extremely difficult for any athlete. When a player is used to playing regularly, being left out, or even missing the matchday squad entirely, can be a serious mental shock. Yet at the same time, it is also part of the sporting journey, an opportunity for others. One interesting aspect of Coach Townsend's decision is the opportunity given to Darcy Graham on the left wing. This reflects a familiar rule in sport. When one door closes for someone, another door opens for someone else. Graham is a player known for his speed and agile movement. His selection for such an important match shows that the coaching staff believe he can make a difference. From my personal perspective, this is a very positive aspect of sport. A strong team cannot rely on just a few stars. It needs squad depth. When younger players or less prominent names get the chance to step onto the big stage, that's when sport truly develops.
The difficult decisions of a coach. The head coach is always the one who must make the toughest decisions. Gregor Townsend does not only think about individual players, he must also consider the entire tactical system of the national team. Sometimes his decisions may disappoint some people, but the ultimate goal is to help the team achieve the best possible result. In this case, adjustments across the lineup, from the wings to the forward pack, show that the coaching staff are trying to find the right balance between power, speed, and defensive capability. Professional sport is not a place for personal emotions. It requires a certain level of cold-headed decision-making, and that is exactly what makes the job of a coach incredibly difficult. Looking at this story, I realize that sport clearly reflects many of the same rules that exist in life. No one can keep their position forever without continuing to improve. In any field, sport, work, or education, competition always exists. For me, Van der Merwe's story is a reminder that success today does not guarantee success tomorrow. Everyone must constantly improve themselves. Perseverance and the spirit of overcoming challenges are what matter most. Sometimes failure is not the end, it is simply the beginning of a new chapter in the journey. I also believe that sports fans should view decisions like this fairly and calmly. In football, basketball, or rugby, fans often tend to defend the players they love. That is completely natural, but sometimes we also need to understand that team decisions are based on many factors that outsiders cannot fully see.
Instead of criticizing or creating excessive pressure, perhaps the best thing fans can do is continue supporting the team and respecting the efforts of the players. Sport is at its most beautiful when it brings unity and inspiration, not division. One thing I have always believed about sport is that nothing is permanent. A player may be dropped from the lineup today, but if he continues to work hard, he can absolutely return stronger than before. Throughout sports history, many athletes have gone through difficult periods before returning to achieve even greater success. Therefore, Van der Merwe missing this particular match does not mean that his journey with the Scotland national team is over. Sometimes difficult periods become the very motivation that pushes an athlete to grow further. When I reflect more deeply, I realize that this story is not just about a player or a single match. It reflects one of the greatest values of sport, the fairness of competition. In sport, everyone must prove their ability. No one is guaranteed a position simply because of reputation or past achievements. It is precisely that fairness that makes sport so compelling and worthy of respect. After thinking about this story, I have drawn a few important lessons for myself. First, I must always strive to improve myself, no matter what position I am in. Second, I need to learn to accept difficult periods as part of the journey. Third, I must approach both success and failure with calmness and maturity. Life, just like sport, always has its ups and downs. What matters most is not whether we ever fail, but how we respond to failure. If there is one message I would like to share with young people when looking at this story, it would be this.
See sport as a school of life. Through sport, we learn discipline, teamwork, perseverance, and respect for our opponents. Whether you are a professional athlete or simply someone who loves sport, these values can help you become a better person. The decision to leave Duhan van der Merwe out of Scotland's lineup for the match against France may have surprised many people. But when we look deeper, we see that it is simply a normal part of professional sport. Form, tactics, and competition are always changing. What matters most is not who gets selected today, but how each player responds to the challenges along their path. For me, this story is not just sports news. It is a reminder that life always requires us to keep striving, to persevere, and to maintain faith in ourselves. And perhaps that is the true beauty of sport.
Thank you for following Scrum Masters Elite_UK. Sports teach us that form may change, but perseverance does not. See you in the next video.